The use of data has really disrupted some industries. So, for example, the use of data by Uber has disrupted black cabs. The use of data in aero engines has disrupted the sale of aero engines from GE and Rolls-Royce. How do you see that the use of this data will disrupt the industry when clients like the government only talk to a very thin level of the industry? For example, in HS2, the current procurement is only about talking to tier 1 management contractors at the moment and ignoring really the rest of the industry who bought into producing models of products and manufacturing.
Really good question for sure. It's one of the ones we wrestle with, and we all kind of, I was thinking about it when I was writing the press release for tomorrow. We kind of made this assumption that the client knows what they're doing and it's an intelligent client. The client's learning as fast as you are, and what they're trying to do is to get themselves up the curve. So in our BIM Level 2 program, a third of the program has been about getting the government client in a fit state to understand what the data they need, how do we procure it, and how do we validate it and use it. And we are starting to see people ask questions of that data. So I mentioned earlier the schools example. They asked questions of the data they had. There wasn't enough data, so they've gone out for more. And they're starting to understand their estate and understand what they need to do to provide those services. I think there's quite a long way to go before we get the ability to have a massively transformational effect. It's the next 5 to 10 year slot rather than 2 or 3 years, where there's suddenly enough data for people to start mining and understanding, getting the insights they need. There's enough understanding around validation of data, so the quality is up and good enough, because it's all very well receiving all this data, but we're not going to transform the world if that data is rubbish. So we're still kind of in this enabling world. But we are starting to see clients look at the data and spend quite a lot of money in analysing what's going on. If you look at TfL, they've got an enormous team of people analysing Oyster card data and operational data to start to look at how they deliver other services and optimise the network. So I suspect they'll be as far forward as anyone in terms of identifying what they do next. And certainly I know they've been talking about intervening into the market around pricing policy to move behaviours of usage. So that's kind of, we're starting to see these shoots of progress. But we all know, there's 3 million people in the industry. It's massively fragmented. It's not, April 16 isn't a white line in the road and everyone wakes up in the morning and we're perfect. We've just got a whole load better. I think we will see transformations like retail have seen. I think we will see transformations like aerospace has seen. The fact that we now sell, I come from aerospace originally, the fact that we now sell thrust or hours of thrust rather than engines is just massively different.
But that is a big disruptive change, which I think Paul's referring
to. And I think we will see those kind of changes.
Because we're running road systems based upon number of potholes rather than journey times.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a particularly transformational change, but
it's starting that journey.